Last year I was on Instagram and I saw a post that said these are 50 books everybody in the world should read. So I was like, man, I'm ordering all 50 of those books. I'm gonna be fucking Jason Bourne. I'm gonna read every book. I'm gonna know everything. I order all 50 books. Amazon's coming every day, 10 books, 5 books, 4 books. And this year, at the end of the year, I'm taking inventory on my goals from last year. Of the 50 books, I read 0. But I read 1 book last year. I'll share it with you. Give me 30 seconds. So it's this story. It's a true story. It's the story of a family from Russia, true story, 120 years ago. And they were so poor that of the 12 kids that were born, 6 died before the age of 2 because they had no money to like medically. So 6 kids of the 12 survived. The dad moves to the States and sends 1 for 1 for the 6 kids to come. The youngest kid, the last one to come, gets lice before he can get on the boat. They don't let him on. They tar his head. They burn his friggin' scalp to get rid of it. He finally heals, bruised, comes over, gets enlisted into the U.S. Army for World War I. In fighting in action, he gets mustard gassed. He's missing in action. They find him in a hospital, give him a medical discharge, and he comes back to this country, meets a woman, marries her, and has 3 kids, 2 girls and a boy. The boy is my dad.
No way.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
No way.
I'm 1 generation removed from my grandfather who came across, got tarred, went through all this stuff. So when like you talk about like running, doing stuff like that, I just go back to what my family went through, and it's like nothing, man. It's like, so it's very important for me to have something that like, yes, you're in this house and there's all this stuff. It's amazing, but it started with a family in that came overseas. So it's just a wild story, man. I read that book last year.
And knowing that.
Not knowing. I found the book when my parents died.
No. Sorry.
Yes.
You read this book not knowing.
My grandfather wrote that book in 1974 about his life. I had no idea of the entire history of it.
Sorry, how did you come across the book?
In the most insane way you could ever imagine.
Bro, this is serendipitous.
Can I tell another 30-second story?
It's your show.
So both my parents passed away recently, fairly recently. And when, you guys are fortunate, both your parents are alive, yours. Yep. So when your parents die, I had my parents' house, my sister and my brother and I decided we were going to sell their house. There's 90 years of belongings in the house. There's everything that they've collected. There's silverware, there's mirrors, there's couches, there's everything has to go because you sold the house. So there's 90 years of possession. So what happens is you bring in an estate guy and he's like, do you want to keep this or donate it or sell it? Okay, sell it. I'll give you $100 for it. Donate it goes here. Get rid of it goes here. They go through the whole house. They get all the way down to the books. You guys won't fucking believe this, man. You won't believe this. My mom has 3,000 books. I'm in Atlanta. They're doing this in Florida. Halfway through going through 3,000 books because they're marking each one $2 a dollar. My brother calls me, he's like, we have a situation. I'm like, what? He's like, the guy with the books just handed me a book, but the mom had, but in the middle of the book, it wasn't a book, it was hollow, it was a safe. This is a swear to God story.
Oh, man.
It's a safe. It's a hollow book. I'm like, well, what's in it? He goes, well, there's old credit cards from 30 years ago, there's some cash, and there's a note. I go, well, what does the note say? It says, this is a combination to a safe. Here's the address. If anything happens to me, get all the contents out of it. You're the only one that has this note.
Oh
my brother's like, I think mom left us Apple stock at $1. We're freaking out.
Bitcoin.
I go, what's the address on the envelope? So he gives me the address. It's my summer home in Connecticut, a home I've had for 30 years. I'm happen to be going that coming weekend for Labor Day or whatever. I open up the safe, and in the safe is some miscellaneous things and this book.
Oh my God.
Is that insane?
Oh my God.
That's insane.
Insane.
Any directions or inferred directions of what you were supposed to do with this book?
It was just this autobiography. I mean, there's other stuff in the safe, but there's this autobiography that my dad or my mom wanted to make sure that, we had
Continued
or whatever.
being passed on.
And the first line of it is, my grandfather wrote it. He's like, it says, I wrote this autobiography for no monetary gain. It's for generations to come. so they know our story. And I love that, you know, because we always think about everything about money.
Business.
And like, nah, man, he wrote this. I'm going to give you guys like the history of how I came up and my whole journey. It's 54 pages.
And I'm assuming it's a one of one.
It's a one-on-one.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Is it written in?
It's tight.
Is it typed in?
Type. It must have took them a fucking year to type
Is it in English, Russian,
English,
Hebrew?
English.
Got it.
Yeah.
That is.
Would you ever
insane.
publish it?
No, because he didn't want him.
I don't know. It's like, it's filled with life lessons. Like, it's fucking nutso. It's filled with these subtle life lessons. It's wild.
Hey guys, if you like that clip, hit the subscribe button. And if you want to see more zany clips, click the video right here.